I found out my career had failed because my mother posted it. Not told me, not asked me, not even hinted. Posted it, public, caption and all. I was in a rideshare when my phone started vibrating like something urgent had broken. 3 messages, then 10, then 27, all from people I didn't talk to regularly anymore. College friends, old coworkers, an aunt who only ever reached out on holidays. The first message I opened was from someone named Kyle, who I hadn't seen in 5 years. "Hey, are you okay?" That was enough. Not concern. Signal. Because people don't ask that unless something already exists, something public, something visible. I opened Facebook. Not slowly, not carefully. Direct search bar. Her name, Elena Rowe. My mother, 48,000 followers. Family growth coach. That was her title. She helped people build stronger family narratives through honesty and resilience. That's what her bio said. That's what people paid her for. That's what she built her entire identity on. I clicked her latest post, and there it was. My name, my photo, my failure. She had chosen a good picture. Of course she had. Not the last one I took. Not the one where I looked tired. The one from 2 years ago. Professional lighting, confident smile, the version of me that matched her brand. Then, her caption. Sometimes, as parents, we have to accept that our children don't always become who we hoped they would be. I felt something in my chest shift. Not break. Reposition. Because that sentence wasn't accidental. It was framing. She continued. After years of investing in a dream that didn't work out, my daughter has decided to step away from her business. It's painful to watch, but growth requires truth. We don't hide failure in this family. We learn from it. The comments were already moving. Fast, supportive, performative. Stay strong, Mama. You're so brave for sharing this. Failure is part of success. I wish my parents were this honest. Honest. That word sat there like something corrupted. Because nothing about that post was honest. It was curated exposure. Controlled humiliation. She didn't share what happened. She shared a version of it. One that made her look strong. And made me look like a lesson. Here's what actually happened. 3 weeks earlier, I closed my company. Not dramatically, not publicly, quietly. After 18 months of trying to scale a logistics AI platform that didn't survive market pressure the way I believed it would. No fraud, no scandal, no disaster. Just a business that didn't work. I had already told her, in confidence, over dinner, at her kitchen table. "I'm shutting it down," I said. She nodded, sympathetic, supportive. "I'm proud of you for trying," she told me. That was the version she gave me, the private one, the one designed to maintain access. Then, she took it and turned it into content. I kept reading, because stopping halfway doesn't help. You need the full shape of the damage. Then I saw the line that changed everything. We had to step in financially to stabilize things, but that's what family is for. I went still, because that wasn't just exposure. That was distortion. She had not stepped in. She had offered. I had declined. Completely. I had shut down clean. No debt, no bailout, no dependency, but that didn't fit her story. Her audience needed a struggling daughter, a strong mother, a lesson about resilience. So she adjusted reality and published it. I didn't scroll further. That was decision 1. Comments are noise. Noise doesn't help. It only expands damage. Instead, I clicked share count, 3,842 shares. That was the number. Not viral by internet standards, but large enough to reach people I hadn't spoken to in years, attach my name to her narrative, freeze a version of my life in public memory. That's how digital betrayal works. Not through scale, through permanence. I called her. Immediately. She picked up. Too quickly. That meant she was expecting it. "Hi, sweetheart," she said. Same tone, same softness, same voice she used in videos. That was the second betrayal, because she hadn't switched tones. She had stayed in character. "You need to take that down," I said. No greeting, no build-up, direct, pause. Then, "I knew you'd be upset." Of course she did. "And you posted it anyway." "It's not about you," she said. That sentence landed harder than the post because it told me everything. This wasn't a mistake. It was a choice. It's about helping people, she continued. People need to see real examples. I didn't agree to be one. You're my daughter. There it was. Ownership, not relationship. You don't own my story, I said. I raised you, she replied. Different argument, same structure, control disguised as care. I stood up, walked to the window. City below, normal. Everything normal. That always happens. The world doesn't adjust for your personal collapse. You said you were proud of me, I said. I am. Then why does this sound like failure? Pause. Then, because it is. Clean, direct, honest, for the first time in the conversation. That mattered. Because now I knew. This wasn't misunderstanding. This was belief. You needed content, I said. No. Yes. Silence. Then, you don't understand what I do. I understand exactly what you do. And I did. She didn't help families. She curated narratives, selected truth, edited pain, packaged it into something shareable. And now I was part of that package. Take it down, I said again. No? That was it. No explanation, no negotiation, just refusal. That was decision 2. From her. And it changed everything. Okay, I said. That surprised her. What does that mean? It means I'm coming over. Pause. Then, you don't need to do that. I do. Because this wasn't a comment section problem. This was a structure problem. And structures don't get fixed online. Before I hung up, she said one thing. Too quickly, too sharply. If you're coming, don't go upstairs. That stopped me. Why? It's a mess. Wrong answer. Because my mother doesn't allow mess. Not physical, not visible, not anywhere that could disrupt her image. What's upstairs? I asked. Nothing. That word again. Nothing. But now it meant something. By the time I got into my car, this wasn't about the post anymore. It was about why she reacted that way, what she was hiding, and why the idea of me going upstairs made her nervous. Her house looked exactly like it did online. That was the first thing I noticed when I pulled into the driveway. Same white siding, same trimmed hedges, same blue ceramic pots placed symmetrically by the front steps like balance could be arranged if you paid enough attention to angles. Even the porch light was on. Midday. Because it photographed better that way. I sat in the car for a second longer than necessary. Not to gather courage, to lock sequence. What I would say, what I would not say, what I would ignore. Then I got out. She opened the door before I knocked. That told me she had been watching, waiting, preparing. Come in, she said. Soft, controlled. Her face already arranged into something calm enough to be recorded if needed. She always did that. Her expressions weren't reactions. They were assets. I stepped inside. Same scent. Citrus and something clean. Same furniture. Same carefully curated warmth. Everything looked like it had been placed for a camera that might arrive at any moment. You shouldn't have driven like that, she said. I'm fine. That's not what I meant. I know. We stood there for a second, neither of us moving further into the room, because this wasn't a visit. It was a confrontation. You need to take the post down, I said. Direct, again. No variation, no escalation. Same sentence, same demand. She closed the door behind me, then walked past me into the living room, not answering. That was her move. Delay, shift location. Control the space before engaging. I followed. You're overreacting, she said. There it was. Standard. Expected. 3,800 people shared it. It's helping people. It's using me. She turned, looked at me fully now. You failed, she said. No softness this time. No coaching tone. Just statement. Let that sit. Because denying it would have made her right. I closed a company, I said. That's failure. That's iteration. No, she replied. That's failure. There it was. Not a misunderstanding. A difference in definition. And in her world, Failure isn't something you learn from. It's something you display. I gave you an example, she said. Of what? Of what happens when you chase things without structure. That sentence landed harder than the post, because it reframed everything. Not just what happened, why it happened. You turned my life into a lesson. I turned it into something useful. There it was. Value. Not human, not relational, functional. If it could teach, it could be used. I stopped arguing. That was decision 3. Because arguments feed her. They give her material, language, structure. Instead, I changed direction. Why can't I go upstairs? I asked. She froze, just for a second. But I saw it. That's not relevant. It is now. No. That was faster, sharper, different tone, good. Because that meant I was close to something real. There's nothing up there, she said. You said that already. Because it's true. Then let me see. No. Immediate. No explanation, no reframing. Just block. That was new. Because she never blocks directly. She redirects, reframes, repositions. This was defense. I walked toward the stairs, not fast, not aggressive, just decided. Stop, she said. I didn't. That was decision 4. Ignore verbal control, because control only works if acknowledged. Arden. My name. Sharp. Not soft, not public. Real. I stopped. Turned. Because names like that are different. You don't understand what you're doing, she said. I understand enough. No, you don't. Then explain it. Silence. Longer than before. Because now she had 2 options. Lie or reveal. And neither one fit her system perfectly. You're not ready for that, she said. That was the wrong sentence. Because it implied there was something. Something I wasn't ready for. Not something that didn't exist. That changed everything. I turned back. Took the first step, then the second. She didn't stop me. That mattered. Because it meant she couldn't. Not without escalating into something she couldn't control. The stairs creaked slightly. Same sound as when I was a kid. Sneaking up to places I wasn't supposed to be. Only now, I wasn't sneaking. I was walking directly into something she had been hiding. The upstairs wasn't messy. That was the first surprise. It was empty. Not abandoned. Cleared. Like something had been removed recently. Boxes gone. Shelves half empty. Air different. That wasn't neglect. That was transition. Then I saw it. In the corner. Near the back wall. A briefcase, old, black, metal edges worn. Not decorative, not aesthetic. Not something that belonged in her curated world. It didn't match anything else in the room. Which meant it wasn't meant to be seen. I walked toward it. Slow. Measured. Because some objects change stories. You don't rush those. Behind me, I could hear her on the stairs. Not running. Not shouting. Just coming up. Too late. The briefcase wasn't locked. That was unexpected. And that told me something. She hadn't expected me to get this far. Or she thought the lock wasn't necessary anymore. That was worse. I opened it. Inside, documents. Old, stacked, organized. Not random. Not forgotten. Maintained. That mattered. Because this wasn't something she abandoned. This was something she preserved. Birth certificate. Not mine, not anyone I recognized. Different name, different date, different city. I picked it up, read it, then read it again, because it didn't make sense yet. Another certificate, same name, same person, different identity marker, altered, legally. That's when it started to form. Not clearly, but enough. I turned another page. Legal filing, name change, timeline. And then I saw her name. Not the one she uses now. The one before. You weren't always Elena Rowe, I said. Behind me? She stopped. That silence confirmed everything. Now it wasn't about a Facebook post. It wasn't about my failure. It was about who she was before and why she needed to control the narrative now. The paper felt heavier than it should have. Not physically, structurally. Because once a name changes, Everything attached to it has to be reconsidered. I held the certificate in my hand and turned it toward her. "Who is this?" I asked. She didn't answer immediately. That mattered, because silence from her was never default. It was calculation. The name printed at the top read, Maris Holt, not Elena Rowe. Not even close. Different rhythm, different history, different life. "That was a long time ago," she said finally. Wrong answer. Because time doesn't erase identity, it just buries it. "Then why keep it?" I asked. She stepped closer. Careful, measured, like approaching something fragile. "Put it back." No. That was decision 5, and it locked the direction. "You don't understand what you're looking at," she said. "I understand enough." "No, you don't." "Then explain it." Same position as before. Different stakes, because now... She couldn't redirect. Not without losing something. "It wasn't safe," she said. That stopped me. Not because it explained anything, because it was real. For the first time, her voice wasn't controlled. It wasn't curated. It wasn't built for an audience. It was honest, and that made it dangerous. "That name," she said, looking at the paper, "came with problems." "What kind of problems?" Pause. Then, "Legal." I waited, because incomplete truth is still control. "What kind of legal?" She closed her eyes for a second, then opened them. And for the first time, she wasn't performing. "I was charged," she said. That changed the room. Not dramatically. Not loudly. Quietly. Because everything I thought I knew about her shifted. "What did you do?" I asked. She shook her head slightly. Not denial. Containment. "It's not that simple." "It never is." That line landed. Because now, we were speaking the same language. I flipped through the briefcase again. Faster now. More precise. Looking for structure. Not emotion. And then, I found it. Court records. Stamped. Filed. Finalized. I scanned the first page. Then the second. Then stopped. Because the word was clear. Fraud. "You were charged with fraud," I said. She didn't deny it. "I was young." That wasn't an answer. "That's not the point." "What is the point?" she asked. "The point is you built your entire life on being honest." "I am honest." "No," I said, "but you're curated." That hit, because it was true. "I had to rebuild," she said, like there was nothing left. That was the first explanation that mattered. Not justification. Motivation. "You changed your name," I said. "Yes." "You changed your story." "Yes." "You changed everything." "Yes." No hesitation now. Because once truth starts, it moves. "You didn't post about my failure because you believe in honesty," I said. She didn't answer. "You posted it because you need control." Silence. "You need the narrative to stay clean." Still silence. "You need people to believe you're the one who overcame." That was it. That was the core. "If people knew this," I said, holding up the file, "they won't." Immediate. Sharp. Certain. That was fear. Real fear. Not performance. I set the document down. Carefully. Not aggressive, not threatening. Just visible. "You used me," I said. "No." "Yes." "To protect yourself. That's not..." "It is." I didn't raise my voice, didn't need to, because the structure had already flipped. "What are you going to do?" she asked. There it was. The question she had been avoiding. Because now she wasn't in control. I was. I looked at her. Really looked. Not at the brand, not at the image, at the person, and saw something I hadn't expected. Not manipulation, not strategy. Fear. Real. Deep. Unfiltered. That changed the equation. Not the facts, the outcome. Now I had everything. Her lie, her past, her motive, her fear. Only one decision remained. Expose her, or use the truth differently. We stood in that room longer than either of us wanted to admit. No shouting, no dramatic collapse. Just two versions of a life finally occupying the same space. The briefcase between us. Open. Undeniable. My phone buzzed again in my hand. I glanced down. New notifications, more shares, more comments. Her post was still spreading, still working, still turning me into a lesson. That mattered, because whatever decision I made next would not erase that, only redefine it. "You're not going to post that," she said. Not a question, a statement. Because in her world, truth is a weapon, and weapons are used. That's what she expected. That I would take the file, take the documents, and do exactly what she had done to me. Public, clean, controlled, humiliating. That would have been symmetry. That would have been revenge. That would have been easy. "No," I said. That surprised her. I saw it. Not relief, confusion, because she didn't understand that option. Not using power. Not when you have it. "I'm not going to expose you," I said. Silence. Then, "Why?" Because that was the question. Not emotional, structural. Why not use leverage? Why not win? "Because I don't need to," I said. That was the truth. Not moral, not noble, practical. Because exposing her would have made me the same. Another person using private truth for public control, and that was the system I was leaving. "But you are taking the post down," I continued. That landed, because now this wasn't negotiation. It was boundary. I can't just, "Yes, you can." "No, yes." Not louder, not aggressive, certain, because certainty is harder to argue with than anger. "You're asking me to destroy my platform," she said. "No," I replied. "I'm asking you to stop using me to maintain it." That was the difference, and it mattered. "If I take it down," she said slowly, "people will ask why." "Yes. And if I explain, you won't. And if I don't, they'll forget." That was the part she didn't want to accept, because her entire life was built on the idea that visibility is permanent. It isn't. Not really. Attention moves. Stories fade. Only structure stays. She looked at the briefcase, then at me, then back at the phone in my hand, and for the first time, she made a decision without framing it. "I'll take it down," she said. Just that. No explanation, no justification, no spin. That was new. That was real. She walked past me, down the stairs into the living room. I followed, not because I didn't trust her, because I wanted to see it happen. She opened her laptop, logged in, clicked the post, paused for just a second, then deleted it, gone. No announcement, no explanation, no follow-up content, just gone. The silence after that was different. Not heavy, empty, because the performance had stopped. And without performance, there was nothing left to fill the space. "What happens now?" she asked. That question meant something different now. Not control, not strategy, just uncertainty. "We stop," I said. "Stop what?" "This. Everything, the system, the roles, the structure." "You don't post about me again," I said. "Ever." She nodded, not because she agreed, because she understood the cost of not agreeing. "And I don't expose you," I added. That was the balance. Clean, clear, final. I picked up my keys, walked to the door, opened it, stopped. Not for long, just enough. Then I said one last thing, not to hurt her, not to teach her, to define it. "You didn't share my failure," I said. "You tried to control it." Then I left. She built her life on perfect stories. I ended ours by refusing to become one. She needed the world to see my failure. I needed her to finally see the truth.